to Anxiety Part 2, Environmental Factors and Negative Thinking. The information provided in this course is intended as a guideline only. As an individual, the owner of a business or psychological therapist, you are responsible for your interpreting the information provided and assimilating it into your life, business or therapeutic practice as you see fit and at your discretion. So in Part 2, we're going to look at environmental factors that can affect anxiety, negative thinking split into categories, so catastrophizing, scenario building, what-ifing, evidence gathering, and then we'll look at some exercises to help challenge that negative thinking. So catastrophizing and scenario building, and then what happens? Catastrophizing and scenario building, make me a list. What-ifing, answer the question. And when someone trusts the evidence when nothing has happened, and when someone trusts the evidence when something has happened. So environmental factors that can affect anxiety. In the previous module, we looked at the biological factors that affect people suffering with anxiety. Now, we will examine what environmental factors can play a part in causing anxiety in individuals. The most obvious environmental factors to look out for are those that cause stress. Lots of different situations and events can cause someone to feel stressed, and although stress is an internal feeling, taking care of the environmental factors affecting it can help someone to calm down and feel more in control of their lives. To help us think about environmental factors that might affect a person, I'm using Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When we're looking at environmental factors that could be affecting someone's anxiety, we need to ask whether any of their needs are being threatened. If we start at the bottom of the triangle, we're starting with physiological needs. For example, if someone has breathing difficulties, perhaps wheezing from having a condition such as asthma, or perhaps breathing something in that they're allergic to, this could bring on anxiety and panic. For an anxiety sufferer, the anticipatory anxiety is often worse than the thing actually happening. For example, looking at the second rung of the triangle, is the person at risk of being made redundant? That would mean that their employment, resources, property, food and water could be at risk as a result of redundancy. Anxiety sufferers live in the future and tend to think worst-case scenario, so the person has probably already imagined themselves starving and homeless on the streets within seconds of finding out about the risk of redundancy. Remember, the brain doesn't understand that what the individual is thinking hasn't happened yet, so all of that catastrophizing is going to make the person feel anxious. Let's move up the triangle again and imagine someone has had an argument with a friend or family member. This could mean potentially losing that person out of their life, again the threat of loss, but this time emotionally. This also refers to the next rung of the triangle. For example, something could happen to cause the person to lose their self-esteem or confidence. In this case, they will avoid anything that could threaten further potential loss. This could manifest in the person not attending a job interview, not applying for a promotion, or not finishing a project. When we consider environmental factors, we need to look at what is happening right now versus what the person thinks might happen. We need to consider the individual's perceived environmental factors in the future, because that is where the anxiety sufferer lives, in the future.